So if you're somebody who sits in chairs a lot and you pattern that way for 8 hours a day, you also wear shoes that have an arch, might be pointed at the toe and are on a bit of a ramp in the heel, or you're somebody who holds a device and is using your phone for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, these 3 roller releases can really help you find some space in your thoracic, open up your hips, and help realign your joints. Hi, I'm Megs from Move Like Water Collective, and we, unfortunately, in the world we're in, we are patterning and shaping our fascia to match our environment. And if you haven't already noticed, our environment is so far from who we are as a human organism. We were never designed to be so sedentary. We were never designed to sit in chairs. We were also never designed to wear shoes that are not made for our feet. Therefore, our physical vehicle, our joints, our bones, our structure, and our cells are constantly being pulled out of alignment and, of course, creating inflammation. So here's something simple that you can do at home with a couple of pieces of equipment that are pretty easy to get a hold of, and probably most of you already have them at home. But I'm going to offer these releases to give you some space in your body, to give some time back to your vehicle as opposed to pushing it all the time and never stopping. A really nice opportunity to work with our fascia system, our lymphatic system, of course, which holds all of our 12 systems, which is a really nice way to provide a little bit of space for your body to heal and come back to alignment. So firstly, I want to start with your calves. Now I'm going to be using a half dome for this one. You can also use a foam roller. You can also use a yoga block. And for many of us, our calves are one of the tightest holding patterns in our bodies because we don't breathe properly. So if we are not diaphragmatic breathing, you're not actually getting blood and oxygen, which is a food that is needed for every single one of your cells, down to your feet and your hands, meaning that these areas become cold, frozen, and dehydrated. You're going to end up with sticky and calcified fascia within your joints, maybe leading to arthritis, but most definitely pulling joints like your patella and your hip down and out of place. So I feel this is a really simple one that everyone can do. So I'm going to do this with you in real time. You're going to get your object of choice, and we're going to look at just finding some space on the calf that may be quite painful. Okay, now I'm kind of investigating a little bit up and down. I'm on the lateral side of my calf here, which it feels pretty right for me today. I'm going to sort of move towards the medial side, and once again, not getting a lot of feedback here, so it's actually feeling pretty good. But the moment I move up a little bit more around near the patella, on the lateral side of the calf, I can most definitely feel that pressure here. Now, I've just been met probably with an adhesion in my calf, right? For many of us, we hold a lot of adhesions in our calves due to poor posture and, of course, environmental factors where we tend to tilt and tip our bodies a certain way. Now, I'm going to stay on that adhesion, and we're going to do a couple of rounds, probably about 2 minutes here of some diaphragmatic breath. Now, if you want to make the pressure a little bit more intense, okay, so I reckon I can handle a little bit more pressure here. I'm going to put my other leg on top, and I'm going to start to lean forward. Now, that feels great for me. It's not comfortable, but I can definitely feel that it is on a place of adhesion or pain. And all I want to do is sit here and diaphragmatically breathe for about 10 more rounds of breath. So I want you to think about when you're breathing, it is a belly breath. We're not breathing up into to the shoulders or the chest, and it is pure nasal breath. And see if you can extend your exhalation for 2 counts longer than your inhale. So I'm just going to stay here in this position with you. I'll guide you through a couple of rounds and I'll let you go on your own. So I invite you to take an inhale through the nose into the belly and feel it expand for the count of 4. As you exhale, your belly squeezes to the spine and you take 2 counts longer than your inhale. So exhaling for 6. Continuing on, breathe in for the count of 4. And exhale for the count of 6. Now continue with that same breath. If you need to back it off, you can always take that top foot off or lean back. If you feel that area, I've just gone over a nice ropey bit here. If you feel that area in your calf start to dissipate, that's a good thing. You might very slowly change where you're at, but I do encourage you, especially if the adhesions have been there a while, which is usually the case in our calves and in our feet, I do encourage you to stay on that area to access those deeper layers of fascia. We're going to take 8 more rounds of breath here. It's really important that the rest of your body is not locking on, so be mindful what your shoulders are doing. Be mindful of any thoughts, again, that cause your body to close, any reflexive thoughts of, I need to fix this, or why isn't this working, or I wish we would hurry up. That will all close your body, and it will have an effect on how your fascia responds to what you're doing here. So over the next 5 to 6 breaths, I encourage you to be 100% present with your body. Every time you breathe out, soften a part of your body. Take one more full breath in and stay for your exhale. Alrighty, let's get a feel for the other side. And again, I'm using this half roller today, but you can use a lacrosse ball, you can use a foam roller. So you don't have anything, you can use a yoga block. Remember, when we go to the calf, you are searching for pain. This side, is definitely a lot more ropier than my other. That is really gnarly. So I've definitely found a site of pain, probably a few sites of pain here as I move through, but right here on the more lateral side of my calf, and if I gently move it and shear into the belly of the calf, I can definitely feel really ropey tissue here. That's exactly where I want to work. So I'm going to see if putting that extra leg on top is too much. We need to make sure we can breathe here. And then we're just going to soften shoulders. We're just landing. We're giving ourselves permission to stay and to invite in the work. Our fascia is always listening to us. It is responding or reacting to how we perceive the environment. So if I come here and I go into stress and tension, my fascia is only just going to lock on, and it's not going to allow the body to receive the nutrients needed, which is of course the blood and oxygen from that diaphragmatic breath. So I'm going to invite you just to stay, breathe, pause, and land here for 10 more breaths. In through the nose for the count of 4, the belly expands. And exhale through the nose, the belly moves to the spine for the count of 6. And just see how much you can let go. Giving ourselves permission to meet pain with pressure and to lean in and address it, not to ignore it, not to numb it, not to run away from it, but to meet it where it's at and to land with a gentleness. To land with a curiosity and a question of, how can I help you? What do you need? An investigation almost to understand why other parts of our body might be tight or rigid if downstream is locked up and tense. Could this be pulling the hip joint out of place and causing pain in my lower back? Maybe. So as you take 5 more breaths here, just these tiny slow adjustments if you need. Again, I'm noticing that area start to dissipate. When I first moved in there, it was very ropey, very thick, and it was clunky. Definitely showing me that there is an adhesion there. It's not as bad now as I spend time. Three more breaths here. Beautiful. Let's really slowly start to come off that one. Oh, I don't know about you, but that actually felt really, really, really good. Okay. Now, once again, with your tools, it's going to be personal preference as to what you use here. We're going to unlock a region in our thoracic. So a lot of us sit in chairs and then we hold devices. You just need to look in a shopping centre or a gym to see this all the time, where people's shoulders are rounded forward and they're on their phones and devices. This unfortunately is inhibiting your breathing. If your rib cage is collapsing down onto your diaphragm, not only are you inhibiting this space here of your breath, but you are creating more than likely a bit of a bulge in the stomach area, because the cells have nowhere to go. There is all these organs here and everything that happens in this region. And if your rib cage is collapsing down here and you're on your phone constantly, then it's no wonder we experience this bloating or ballooning of the cells, because the cells don't have anywhere to go because our organs are here. So we really want to make sure we have really nice space in our thoracic and open the shoulders back up, remembering the capacity and the natural space of our bodies was never designed to be here. So you can either use this half dome, but I'm going to use this guy today. I really feel like a good opening. I'm going to use the edge of the roller, and my bum is quite forward of the roller so that I'm coming down onto the base of my thoracic. Now I'm using the edge of the roller to push into the thoracic. So when I'm working into this particular space here, the roller is probably landing right at the base of my thoracic spine. So I've got my bum onto the ground and making sure I'm not on my lower lumbar. And I'm just using the edge of that roller to land. Now, if that feels too much in your lower back, or you need something to rest your head on, then use the lower option or use a yoga block, and you can always support your head with a block if need be. Now, with this particular release, I'm actually going to open the shoulder capsule here. So I want the forearms to be open, the palm is open, the fingers are nice and light, and my scapula is dropping either side of the roller. Now, in this particular release, we're just going to allow the spine to roll a little bit to the left and to the right, and you're going to get this really nice massaging of the back of the rib cage, also across the shoulders and the scapula here, an area that can become quite closed, as mentioned, if we do lean into that forward head posture a little bit. But see if you can let your shoulders melt over the bolster or over the support, and really open the front of the pecs here. So our pec minor, pec major, again, develop a really tight adhesed state, because we tend to practice holding our phone or reaching in front of a chair, rounding our shoulders, whatever it might be, for quite a significant time in our day. So our fascia learns to hold ourselves that way. So when you come into this posture, we're going to be here for about 5 more breaths. Just let your shoulders become really heavy, allow the heart space to open, and really just working into that diaphragmatic breathing. So I'll be quiet here for another 5 breaths while you guys can focus on your breath and just let the roller do its job. Maybe as you exhale, you can even feel the belly pull to the spine. You might even be able to drop off that roller even more. Now we're going to just move this roller up, and just for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to do one more in the spine. I've gone to kind of the oh, that's so good. The mid-thoracic here, my head is onto the roller. And same thing, I'm just going to move it around for about a minute, just gently massaging that superficial layer of fascia. So getting right now into the scapula. We really want to have a very good mobile and moving scapula when we're especially looking at our breathing and supporting our rib cage. So just allow that roll just gently side to side. Allow everything to be heavy. Feel the edge of the roller push into your mid-thoracic spine here, about halfway up your vertebrae. And then we're just going to settle here for about 6 diaphragmatic breaths. Now, I don't know about you, but I could have easily fallen asleep there. So we're going to take our time and just roll off to the side. And just taking some time to just take a few moments to settle there. We are going to go through one more release. As I mentioned, if we sit in chairs and also use devices, it's getting quite dark, isn't it? Our quadriceps and our hip flexors can get really, really sore. So when we sit in chairs, we are shortening through the muscles, which is going to create a shortening into our hip flexor and our psoas. And of course, when we go to stand up, that then creates a lot of tension into the lower back and into the hips. So we're going to release our quads. One of my favorite releases, this one. So choosing a quad, you want to focus on one, not two. Again, I'm going to use the roller for this one. Make sure that you support yourself here. We want to use a roller for this one because we want to move. So I'm down onto my forearms and I'm going to start to roll very, very gently and slowly up the quadricep. Now, I'm also going to be addressing my inner thigh here, but I'll talk about that when we get there. So if it feels too much, push out of the floor, come onto your forearms and work through here. So I'm just going to where the patella is, and then I'm going almost up to the insertion point at the hip joint. And just really slowly creating some movement up and down onto that roller. Now, I'm going to add in a inner thigh or an adductor release here and up into the groins, because I feel for a lot of us, we tend to get super tight here. So the transition, I'm going to lean to the left and I bring the left knee up, turning the roller in slightly. And now I'm getting right into that groins, medial quadricep and adductor, and just rolling on these spaces, because for many of us that lower back pain absolutely stems from adhesions and tightness in the quads or the calves or the feet. But a lot of the times for most of us, and what I see, so many people are sitting these days, which again is really throwing off our natural gait and patterns. So I don't know about you, but this is feeling absolutely amazing. And I've just found a really tight bit here. So I'm going to just do a little bit of shearing here. So I'm pushing into that roller and I'm rolling very gently, rotating at the hip joint, allowing that ankle to lift up and then come back down, starting to get into that really tight tissue on the medial side of my quads. Is it comfortable? No. Do I like it? Yeah. Let's just finish off with going back to a bit of a quad roll here. So onto that quadricep all the way and then back. And let's just complete the movements today, of course, with the other side. So we are going to come onto, I'll just face this way so you can see. I'm losing my light quite quickly here. But you don't really need to see me, you can see what's going on. So as we're working through here, again, I'm into that quad. So I'm starting right down at the patella, not going over the patella, and then just sliding my way back onto the meaty part of the quad. Oh, this side is a lot tighter for me today, and it corresponds with my calf. When I went into my calf, it was a lot tighter on this side, which tells me information about what, how my back might be feeling, and my back is a little bit clicky on my left side today, because maybe this right side is a bit tight and pulling in from some sort of patterning that I have been doing. So just explore onto that quad. Alright, again, just rolling gently using, you can see that I'm up on my hands. I'm up on my hands because I really need to make sure I can still breathe. It's not about scrunching up your face and roughing this out. It's very much about making sure that you can relax into the discomfort and breathe diaphragmatically. So let's explore that medial part here. So I've just turned the roller so that I can get up into my groins and right down the medial part of my thigh, my quad, my adductor, and I'm going right to where the patella is, and I'm looking for pain. Now, again, I'm quite tight here, so I'm going to do a bit of shearing here. I'm going to roll onto my quad and then roll back. So what I'm doing is I'm internally rotating my hip and then an external rotation here, staying on that quite tight space. I'm applying a fair bit of pressure to this. I quite like this pain, but I'm making sure I can breathe, and that's the most important thing that you need to do for you here too. Let's take one more of these and then just slowly bring yourself off that roller or whatever it is that you were using. Well, it's getting a little bit dark, but there's a couple of movements and places in your body that if you unlock those, you can really help reverse that phone and chair body, and it can really help provide a lot of space without really doing a lot at all. I hope you got something out of this. Leave me a comment below and let me know how this helped you, and make sure that you like, comment and subscribe for more videos of the same.